Fellow Nigerians, our country is going through one of its worst moments in history. The state of Nigeria requires all of us, regardless of where we are on earth, to come out of our comfort zones, to battle for our soul. Our country is under siege on all fronts. Our country has been taken over by janjaweeds that pretend to be leaders. The question is, how much can we take? How much more can we take? Here is a country where a citizen went into the hallowed chamber of the Senate and carted away the mace, the symbol of authority of the National Assembly, and was not punished. What type of example is that? Here is a country where the government allegedly spent 600 billion feeding students at home, students who were on lockdown, and nobody is raising a finger. How on earth do we have a country that cannot cater to its use? Fellow Nigerians, this is Smart Madu Ajaja, the anchor of Nigeria Now on Nightingale Radio Station and on ONN on YouTube. How are you? It is that time again for Nigeria Now. Nigeria Now. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, if there's anything as great weekend in Nigeria these days. And we have on our hands serious burning national issues, left, right, and center. But today we are going to be talking to somebody of interest. Ms. Comrade Christiana Ezugu, the newly elected president of the Association of Nigerian Female Students. She's going to be joining us from Abuja, Nigeria, to discuss on a wide-ranging issues, that impacts women and issues that are of national importance, and so much to grapple with these days in Nigeria. We'll be right back after this commercial. Fellow Nigerians, our country is going through one of its worst moments in history. The state of Nigeria requires all of us, regardless of where we are on earth, to come out of our comfort zones, to battle for our soul. Our country is under siege on all fronts. Our country has been taken over by janjaweeds that pretend to be leaders. The question is, how much can we take? How much more can we take? Here is a country where a citizen went into the hallowed chamber of the Senate and carted away the mace, the symbol of authority of the National Assembly, and was not punished. What type of example is that? Here is a country where the government allegedly spent 600 billion feeding students at home, students who were on lockdown, and nobody is raising a finger. How on earth do we have a country that cannot cater to its use? My people of Nigeria, make I speak pidgin first before we talk about the Igbo thing. Deborah, I can see you on studio, right? I'm going to bring you in a few minutes. And if you dare YouTube, you dare Facebook, you dare Instagram, you dare LinkedIn, I bet I'm going to share this message. Hey, Edward, I see you. Eddie, the big guy. Hey, thank you for the great job. And let me use this opportunity to wish your son, Joshua Giovanni Ogbebo, a happy birthday. I mean, he's one of the mascots, the young mascots of Open Nigeria. Thank you for being such a beautiful, handsome young boy. I hope you're listening, and I owe you something for birthday. Open Nigeria owes you something. Hey, keep on, preach it in your classroom. That there's something that is happening, a new mystery blowing through the air they call Open Nigeria. That Nigeria that will bring, all the goodies that young children like you enjoy in America and other places, that it is possible in Nigeria. All right? So happy birthday. We say that to you. So everybody who is listening, please, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that, because we do a lot of work. Before now, most of the work we have been doing have been unnoticed, but we have worked so hard, harder than perhaps more than any group in Nigeria, to bring the light that the Nigerian people need right now, this minute, where the country is going crazy. The country has gone rogue because of the rogue Nigerian system, the system that aborts the future, the system that denies everybody access to opportunity, the system that was skewed in favor of the same people since 62 years. Their fathers have done their own. They handed over to their children. Their children have handed over to their grandchildren and their proteges. How long? I feel so sad to hear what is going on in the country. Look at a young girl at the Shehu Shagari College of Education in Sokoto, murdered and burnt down. They roasted her. For what? For being a Nigerian? What did she do? What is her offense? It is so sad that that is what our country has become. We should not be tolerating this type of Nigeria. That is not the Nigeria we want. We want a Nigeria that will open doors to access to opportunity to everybody. Igbo, Fulani, Igede, Idoma, Urobos, Eka, Ishakiris, everybody in Nigeria. That is what the United States, where I live, is. I thought we complain about discrimination here sometime, but to hear it in its worst form in Nigeria, to the extent that people do savage things to drive bankrupt religious ideologies. Where did God or Allah ask anybody to kill anybody on his behalf? But we're going to come back to that. So let me quickly bring our guest here, Christiana Ezugu. Hey, Christiana, how are you? Please.
I'm fine. Good evening.
Yeah, how are you? We are not seeing your picture.
I don't have power failure, so I don't have of power, and everywhere is just dark.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's
so
fine.
I think I prefer to go this way.
All right, that's good. That's smart of you. You're a really smart person. Please don't worry. Don't worry. Just use what you have. That's okay. This is better.
Okay.
Please, you are being listened to by over 2 million people right now on radio, and several of them scattered on YouTube, and Facebook, LinkedIn, and everywhere, and including Twitter. Can you please introduce yourself to fellow Nigerians?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. My name is Comrade Christiana Ezugu, and I'm from Enugu State, Nigeria. And I'm the newly elected and inaugurated president of the Association of Nigerian Female Students, ANFS, and a fresh graduate of Federal Polytechnic Nekede, where I studied public administration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Right before now, I want you to give us a little background information about you. You as a child, you now as you at the time as an adolescent, now as an adult. Can you give us just a little information?
Sure, I can.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Madu. Growing up has really been awesome for me because over time I've actually been occupying positions of leadership. I was born in Anambra State, Onitsha to be precise. And after I had lost my father, I moved over to Port Harcourt, where I completed my primary school education. And while I was on that, I was my school head girl. I moved to secondary school where I became the senior prefect girl. Then I got to the university. By the grace of God, I studied in a polytechnic. And I functioned as the Student Union Government Vice President for the 2019-2020 academic session. By the virtue of that, I was opportune to start up my own initiative, which is the Eco Women Initiative, an initiative that is on a mission of heralding global transformation of women and girls through the education and empowerment of women and girls. And over time, we've been able to impact in the lives of girls at the rural communities, most especially the communities in the East. We've gone to Uzowan local government, which is my own local government, my community, Adani community. We've been able to carry out self-esteem building workshops, campaign against teenage pregnancies. We've been able to carry out menstrual hygiene awareness, where we were able to distribute about 1,000 free sanitary pads to young girls in underserved communities. And as a student leader, I've actually carried out seminars and workshops for young women and students in my academic institution there in Owerri. And by the grace of God, I'm currently the president of the Association of Nigerian Female Students. So everything about leadership is something I'm so passionate about, and lending my voice for the benefit of women and girls in rural communities and in Nigeria at large. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And one more question. What inspires you?
I have so many things that inspire me, but then the ability to impact positively into the life of another person is one of the greatest inspiration I have. And when I see that happen and I know that, yes, some other person has benefited from something that I can actually do to make that person live well, to make that person think differently about life, and to make that person reach out to their full potential, that alone inspires me.
Thanks. Yes, we come from an environment, a continent, and specifically a country where women are discriminated against, where women are repressed. In a nutshell, gender repression is one big problem that we are having to grapple with in Nigeria. What do you think about it, and what do you think is the way out of it?
The issue of gender discrimination is something that is something that is rooted deep into our Nigerian culture. And it's not just something that has started today, it's something that can be traced back to even the pre-colonial era. But then I think this is the 21st century, and by the virtue of education and by the virtue of exposure, a lot of women are beginning to stand out, to speak out, and to stand for what they know is right. As a young woman, sometimes I call myself a feminist because I know that over time, I have actually aired my opinion and raised my voice for women inclusion in leadership. And I could remember as a student leader then, we were able to make sure that our tenure brought about so many other young women in student leadership. So we try to encourage people by carrying out Rise and Lead student seminars to encourage young people to put up their voices on the tables of decision making, because this is Nigeria, and even whether we like it or not, leadership is not just for the men, and being able to make certain decisions is not just for the men. we as women, we are home builders. Not just that we are home builders, we are also people that could make positive impact in society. And I know that if today women stand up and say, okay, this is what we want to happen, following the fact that we have majority of women in the world, when it comes to gender, female gender, we have a higher population. So why are we going to have a higher population and have the less heard voice? It is abnormal. So I think it is time for women to rise, time for women to understand their position in the society, time for women to understand that leadership is very much important. Not only men should be allowed to rule, but also women should be allowed to put up their voices on the tables of decision making, and thereby our intelligence, our talent, our skill will be brought out to the society, and then we can be able to influence positive changes in our society. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, a personal question. Have you ever, for any reason, been discriminated against as a woman because you're a woman?
Okay. Funny enough, I come from a family of all boys. I have 4 brothers. I'm the only girl. So there are some certain things I've actually seen, even from my own immediate community. And I wouldn't put it out to say, okay, as an individual, I've been discriminated. But then I know that women, even from my own community, have been discriminated. Because you come to my community, land ownership is communal. And because it's communal, whenever land is sold, the benefit or the resource gotten from such sales of land is distributed evenly among the adult male and not among the adult women. So why is that so? Because we are women. And because we are women, what happens to a family of all girls or all women? So because they are women, they should not partake in the communal sharing of the resource that belongs to the community, the resources that are for the community. So because they are women, they should not participate or partake. To me, I think it's so wrong. And because I'm a woman and because I have 4 brothers and I know my brothers are benefiting and I'm just smiling behind the tables, it doesn't make sense to me, which is one of the reasons why I took up my initiative to my rural community to enable women know that, yes, we are women, but that doesn't limit us. That doesn't relegate us to the background. We should always stand up to speak. We should always stand up to empower ourselves so that when they see us that, yes, this person is empowered, this person has so much to offer, they will not discriminate us. They will even be the ones pushing us out to represent them whenever it is necessary.
Great. Now, we hear a lot of very sad tales. Rape has become one big issue in Nigeria in recent times. A lot of women have been raped, and then not much has been done to curb rape decisively through legislation that translates into policy. If you were, for instance, in position to make a policy, or you are a legislator, you are to legislate on the issue of violence with reference to rape on women in Nigeria, how would you present your case, and how would you make it, put it across where it will make that impact that we seek right now?
Okay. I so think the issue of violence against women and girls is something that is prevailing in our society, not just in Nigeria, but like in the whole world. And I, for one, as a young woman, I've actually been opportune to widen my knowledge about ending violence against women and girls. Recently, I concluded a 6-month training by the Nigerian Women Trust Fund on ending violence against men and girls. And I've actually seen women organizations and active groups that have been advocating for women and girls at the same time, speaking against all forms of violence against men and girls. And if I'm opportune to see myself at the helm of affairs where I'm able to make legislation or make a bill that should promote the fight against such practices on women, I'm going to be able to work with various law enforcement agencies work with organizations that I know have actually carried out research about the numerous violence facing women and girls, because sometimes it's not always about rape. There are other kinds of violence that people do not even know about, ranging from emotional abuse to domestic violence to sex trafficking to different kinds of abuses on women and girls. And all of these things are not really made known to people. Most times we are always on the path of rape, and we have so many other things that have eaten deep into ills that have eaten deep into society. And these vices, I think we are going to start working on them, not just by enacting a bill, but putting the government to work to enforce it. Because we can't just promulgate a law and expect it to just become a law without enforcement. So we are going to work with different bodies that will make sure that all of these things are being brought down to the grassroots, so that whenever such laws are being effected, it's going to be enforced to reach to the grassroots level. And I know that recently a lot is being done, and I know if we continue raising our voices and continue doing the best we can, I know this issue of violence against women will be highly tackled in society.
You now had an organization, an association for female students.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little more about your association?
The Association of Nigerian Female Students, as the name implies, is an association that brings together different female students from different backgrounds, from different tertiary institutions, be it polytechnic, universities, college of education, primary and secondary schools. But then we have our functions to cut across primary and secondary schools. But then when it comes to our forum is just limited to those in the tertiary institutions. But then the impact of our work goes down to both primary and secondary institutions, because we know that we cannot always carry them along in terms of bringing up our policies, but then we can draft our policies and programs that can actually impact positively into their lives. So we come together as student groups to advocate for women inclusion in leadership. We come together to make sure that in our various institutions, the voices of young female students are heard. And then the welfare of female students are being taken as a priority by universities, by management of each schools. And then we do not only limit our functions to just the schools, we try also to make sure that our young girls are empowered, our young girls are educated, our young girls are able to come out to the society and raise their voice against all forms of violence affecting women and girls. So it's not just about the whole university thing, but then it's about societal changes, societal impact. So we try to make sure that in various institutions, no girl child is being violated. The rights of the female students are not trampled upon. And when it comes to the student union government, women are given equal voices as the men. So over time, we've tried to reach out to management of schools to incorporate the female students in higher positions, because there are some universities you go, a woman cannot become the SUG president. Why? Because they feel it's a position that is just for the men. But then because we've been raising our voices and making sure that women are brought forward to the tables of decision making from 3 to 4 years ago, we've recorded great achievement of our female students pioneering the affairs of students in their various institutions. We have the former president of Benue State University, who happens to be a woman. In Federal Polytechnic Nekede, a woman contested for SUG. Avanikoku College of Education had their first female SUG president last 3 years. And over time, we have the president of Benue State University of Agriculture as a female. So over time, we've been changing the narrative. And this is what ANFS is all about, trying to promote and enhance female participation in politics and in leadership, and making sure that the voices of women and girls are heard in their communities, in their societies, and not just becoming female comrades, but then becoming people of impact, impacting your community as a young woman, impacting your society as a young woman, and not just doing that, coming out of school with good grades that people and your family will be proud of. So this is what we are trying to promote, promoting intellectual, promoting leadership, and promoting female participation at all spheres of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, we are here. Hey, Mr. Peter Bali, I see you right on the studio. I'm going to bring you in a few minutes. You know, if you have any question or you want to make a contribution to the discussion that we're having right now. Fellow Nigerians, we've been speaking with Ms. Comrade Christiana Ezugu, the newly elected Association of Nigerian Female Students. She is the president. So we are talking about a wide variety of issues that affect women in Nigeria, and we're going to talk about Nigeria in general and how it affects women and women in leadership. You know, how we can get more women to be part of what will drive Nigeria in the 21st century. So we'll be right back. All right, people. Thank you very much for all that have just tuned in. Yes, welcome back, and let me use this opportunity to wish the founder of the Nightingale Radio station in Nigeria, Miss Mary Ozoroye Aola, aka Radio Diva. Thank you, and we celebrate you, and we thank you for the opportunity you have given to the people of Nigeria, especially the nurses of Nigeria, to have a platform where they can express themselves. Happy birthday once again, and back to the studio. Now I'm going to bring Mr. Peter Bali. Mr. Peter Bali, good evening. How are you?
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yeah. You are welcome. You're welcome. So we have been talking to Ms. Christiana Ezugu, the association. I'm hearing a lot of echo. Do you have any device turned on around you? Huh? Yeah, it looks like you have a device turned on. Can you turn it down, please? Hello? Okay, that's Salihu. Salihu Uraola. Yeah, can you turn that device, please?
Okay, about me, you can hear.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, where are you tuning in from?
From Kaduna.
From Kaduna. Welcome to the
Yes.
show. It's Nigerian on Nightingale Radio. And we've been talking to Miss Christiana Ezugu, the newly elected president of the Association of Nigerian Female Students. We talked about issues about women, women in leadership, violence against women, gender discrimination or gender repression in Nigeria. Do you have anything to say before we go back to her, please?
No, please go home, please, sir.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Back to Christina. Christina, are you with me? Hello?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me? All right. Good. Now, you are the president of the Association of the Female Students in Nigeria. I remember I interviewed your predecessor, Ms. Sylvia Saki. She is so well respected. She is so well celebrated across Nigeria. Do you think you can step into her shoes? What can you do, to stamp your own authority and leave a legacy, for yourself at the end of your tenure?
Okay, thank you. When you say step into her shoe, I think everyone is created differently and we all have our own patterns of leadership. Yes. So this is me, Christiana, bringing in my own models, my own pattern of leadership to making sure that there is continuity and there is sustainability at the same time. There is growth in our association that can cut across the whole Nigeria, not just the whole Nigeria, cutting across Africa and in the world at large. So I am not going to say I will be in the shoes of my predecessor, but I'm going to do my own best to make sure that the aims and objective of our beloved association is achieved. At the same time, make sure that the interest of the female student is protected and their rights are being exercised to the fullest. So I'm not going to completely say I will fit into her shoes, but she is my mother, she is my mentor, and she's my leader, and I'm here to do my own quota towards making sure that the lives of the female students get better and that our voices are heard in Nigeria.
Great. Now, do you have any specific set of things lined up, for you, to work on during your tenure?
Yes, we have our own action plan during our tenure, and the first thing is this: we would want to bring in female students with disabilities, and then we want also to reach out to young women that are not opportune to go to school, because over time we work as a female body, but then we fail to we neglect most of these people because maybe they're not really fully participating into the things we are doing. But then I think it's time to reach out to these people with disability, young women from different places, irrespective of their tribe, irrespective of their background, because most universities have people with disability, but then they pay little attention to them. I think during my tenure, we are going to incorporate our activities to make sure that it brings them in, carrying out programs that would also involve them without making them feel like they're less human. And then our impact-based programs will also get across those young girls in rural communities that are not opportune to go to school, because it's not their fault that they're out of school. Most of them don't have the money. Most of them, their parents don't even have the money to take care of the family, how much more to send them to school. But then because they are women, and because our aims and objective is focusing on women and girls, regardless of whether you're a female student or not. So our activities would help bring them into the system to make sure that we create a space for them to be able to participate in our empowerment programs and educative programs to help them become better human beings, to help them become people that would impact their own communities at the same time. Because I know that when it comes to girl child education, it has a ripple effect. So when a particular girl child is educated, the education cuts across not just her, but her community. And if we are able to do these things, we are going to impact so many people in our community. And then you see a lot of independent women, regardless of whether the person is disabled or not. You see people that can take up responsibilities, people that will take up and nurture their own family without depending so much on the government. At this point, we are not looking at what the government can do for us, but what we can do for our community, what we can do for our society. So this is our aims and objectives, to make sure that people that are disabled, people that are not opportune to be in school, are carried along in our own administration. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, listeners and viewers, we'll be listening to Ms. Christiana Ezugu, the Association of Nigerian Female Students. Is their leader, the president here. And joining us from Kaduna is Peter Bali. Peter Bali, yeah, I'm sure you heard. Can you hear me clearly? Hello, Mr. Peter. Yeah, I think we have an audio issue here. We're not able to hear him. So we're going to move on. Now, Christina, thank you very much for the brilliant reactions you have provided to all the questions so far asked. We are in a situation right now in Nigeria. In less than 1 year, by the standard of the INEC, we are made to understand that we'll be having an election. But the country is engulfed with by a lot of turmoil, violence on all corners of the country. What do you think about the general condition of Nigeria? Do you think Nigeria is prepared, or the INEC is actually, or the government is prepared to give Nigeria the type of election that will produce the type of leadership that we need at this time?
From the recent happening in the country, I wouldn't say the INEC or the government are not prepared to usher in a new government. Rather, will I say the INEC are not prepared, because election is carried out every 4 years. And I think from the very last election, preparation should have been made towards this forthcoming election. That is how things should work. And if, as at today, we have a lot of people putting up interest to contest for different positions, and that means a lot of people are bringing out money to buy forms, to go for consultations and all of those things and what have you. But then the society, we are still suffering so much from insecurity, suffering so much from instability, suffering so much from the educational system not being stable, the recent strike action, and all of these things are making it look like the whole country is distracted. Yes, we have election coming up, but then so many things are going on, so many vices are going on in society, and it's looking like we are having divided attention. Today is the issue of instability. Tomorrow is the issue of killing in a particular zone. Next tomorrow, students are rioting. And all of these things are happening all at once, while we have something we should all be looking forward to, which is the election. And then I am now placed in a condition to answer if the INEC is prepared or not. Before I would answer that, I think at this point I cannot answer if the INEC is prepared or not, because the tension in the country, the insecurity, the problems alone is making a lot of people yell, is making a lot of people bleed, is making a lot of people doubt if truly the INEC are prepared. So whatever their level of preparedness is, I can't say for sure because of the recent things happening around us. And then that question is left for them to answer. That question is left for government to tell us how prepared they are by first of all tackling these following conditions that has made the whole Nigeria to wonder if truly we have a government that has ears and eyes to see the things that are happening and ears to listen to the cries of the people.
Thank you. Now, one more question before I'm going to ask an expert. There's a security expert that is joining us, Mr. Clement Williams, joining from Lagos. I want to ask you, Christiana, we've seen an array of presidential aspirants. You know, it's somehow becoming ridiculous. You know, and the cost of buying one piece of paper one for APC selling for 100 million, and then the other one, the one for PDP selling for 40 million, and then the youths who are clamoring to become the leaders of tomorrow are shut out of the door because of these exorbitant prices of buying farms. There are other parties, sadly, that Nigerians refer to as smaller parties that are opening doors to the young people to come and take advantage of their platforms to run. But it doesn't look like they are responding positively to that. What can you say about this?
I think should I say it's funny that we the youth we are called leaders of tomorrow, but then when it comes to coming out to take up leadership positions, coming out to stand for that which we feel is the right thing to be done, we fall back because we feel, oh, no matter the effort, no matter the level of effort we put in, we are not going to make it. So I think from now is our mentality, because we know that we have young Nigerians that are intelligent, but then we feel so much relaxed when we are offered the position of SSAs, when we are offered the position of PAs, when we are offered the positions of House of Assembly members. And then when it comes to the bigger positions, we think, okay, let's those people that have been there, even if they want to go for the 5th term, let them go. As long as they go there and give us one appointment or the other, we are fine because of our mentality. So I think now, the youth, we have a mentality that is limited to getting the little benefits that we feel is from the national cake, that little portion that is given to us. So many youths feel contented. Okay, let me just take SSA to the governor on student affairs. As long as I'm receiving social amount every month and I can take care of my family, I can own a Camry car, I am okay. But we are not seeing the bigger picture. So it is not all about the money. It's all about our mindset. It's all about our mentality. Because we have other political parties that are willing to usher us in. But then we feel, oh, this political party does not have what it takes to win an election. Therefore, why not support these people? You see youth clamoring for a particular person that they know this person have actually led at this particular point, this particular year, and have done nothing. And you still want that person to come and rule you because you feel when you help that person to campaign, that person is going to put you at a position where you're receiving small peanuts and change to sustain yourself. So I think the problem now is not about the money. It's about the mindset of the Nigerian youth. An average Nigerian youth wants to become a pro in tech. An average Nigerian youth is looking for an opportunity to travel to America, to travel to Canada, to either go for masters or get one full-time job that will sustain their life. But then when it comes to politics, the few ones that want to actually venture into politics, they want to become NANS president, they want to become SSAs, they want to become PAs, carrying bags for politicians. So I think it's not just about the money that APC has placed for purchasing of form or nomination. It's about the mindset of Nigerian youth, which is no matter what we try, no matter how far we try, we are not going to make it. So let us remain at the place where we can earn the little we can to survive. So that is just it.
Thank you. All right, hold on there. Mr. Williams, Clement Williams, how are you?
I'm fine. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please introduce yourself to our listening and viewing audience.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Clement and a veteran. I'm based in Lagos here, and I've been following your program all this while, and I see it very interesting and educative, being that is a platform whereby we are looking for solutions, how to bring back our Nigerian, how to unite ourselves and become one. And I can see it is ongoing and it's on building. Based on her statement, on the questions you asked her, I felt and I deem it fit that yes, she have an insight of what is going on and the problem facing our youth. But our major problem in Nigeria now is security. We have totally lost it. And they said the decayed fish is always from the head. We cannot put it together if the government have not accepted to put it together. So if anything have to come up now, the government itself have to tackle up what we call security first. And my own contribution here is that the youth themselves have to own up and know that they are responsible of whatever is coming on upon them. There is this awareness of everybody want to have it quick. This get quick rich syndrome is what is affecting us now. Nobody wants to start from the scratch. Nobody wants to work hard. Nobody wants to contribute to the system. Everybody feel that, oh, it's not mine. It's at the center. It's a national problem. It's a national cake. Let me go there and pick mine and get out. Let me go there and pick mine and get out. If everybody have that thinking, if everybody have that ideology in him, then who will fix the collapse system? None, nobody. So I think that's where I stopped.
Okay, so what do you think can be done to, first of all, tackle the security challenges as a veteran, as somebody who is in depth, who has a clear knowledge of what is happening on the security front of Nigeria? What do you think can be done? Because a lot of money has been expended on fighting insurgency in Nigeria since over 8 years now, and it looks like it's getting worse. What do you think, as a man who has been at the battlefield?
Regarding the security situation of this country, I believe there are countries outside there who have witnessed such situation and they curtail it within some limited time. But our own have exceeded the limited time which we expected it to be curtailed. So in that regard, if at all anything should be done by now, because it has gone out of hand, there is going to be public awareness and reorientation. And this got to start from the youth. The school system, the academic system, have to bring back their draw line and bring out what we call self-imposed security awareness, which every student have to be taught before going out of the school. You should know that this thing I'm doing now will affect me at the next door. This thing I'm doing in this place now, at the next door is going to affect me. People don't think about others, they only think about themselves. There are how to attend to security issues. If you want to block any problem, any lapses regarding security, there are things they have to do first. First of all, you think about how this problem comes to be. Who are the people taking this issue far front? Who are the people responsible? Who are those driving it first? The driving force of that problem is what they have to tackle. And you can see it from the other angle, whereby the judicial system are not doing their best. If the judicial system are doing their best, okay, take a look from the military. The military is one of the most disciplined institutes in the world. It's the forefront most disciplined institute in the world, whereby anybody who go against the fundamental rules, if you go against the ethics, the rules, the laid down rules, the procedures, you already know you are going to pay in jeopardy. So as somebody in the military, if you are going against the norm, the discipline, the ethics of the profession, you already know the consequences.
Yes.
And there,
yes.
You already know the consequences. And there is nothing like we are going to pardon, they are going to, somebody is going to bail you, somebody is going, no, there is no godfatherism. Once you have gone against the ethics and the law. Any laid down authority in the military must be adhered to. If you go against it, then you must pay in jeopardy. You are, in fact, before taking that step, you have already know what is going to befall you. If the system have to come back, the judiciary have to stood up against some kind things that is happening. When somebody go against the constitution or somebody go against the fundamental rules, which is guiding against human rights, the law said that this is what we are supposed to do to this person. If you do it, others will sit up. But by the time you bend it, you bend the law against one person. Another person who is coming out will still do it because he knows that if he got to his turn, you will still bend the law against him. A situation whereby we are clamoring for insecurity in the south, another one is coming out from the west, another one is coming out from the north. The security agencies have been overstretched. They have been overstretched to the extent that if you look, there is short of manpower. Every and they have been engaged. The police have been over-engaged. The military have been over-engaged. Why? It doesn't take us anything to curb all these problems. But politically, I am still saying that it is we, the citizens of Nigeria, we said no. Enough is enough. Just like what happened in Sudan, there was a stage where the Sudanese said no, the United Nations should leave our land. They have overstayed. They came to restore peace. Yes, they have restored the peace. But what we are seeing now is partial peace. Let them go. We can handle ourselves. That is how they started, bringing some, creating some idea, educating their youth, trying to inculcate it into their education system. They now started to clamor and saying, enough is enough. The United Nations should leave our country. We have had enough. The peace already stable here is enough. We can handle the rest. And at the end of the day, discovered that the UNAMID left. The UNAMID left. And they were able to handle the affairs of their country. The security situation of Darfur was stable.
Okay. Veteran Clement, it's a pleasure hearing from you. I guess we have to do a special one-on-one with you because it is clear that you know a lot about this.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Have a good evening.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure seeing you on air.
All right. Thank you, sir.
I'm grateful, sir.
Bye. Yeah. Hey, Christina, back to you.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Now, we have an election in our hands. I assume, based on your response, you are enthusiastic. You want to see good leadership out of your country. What plans have you made or are you making to engage women in good numbers, educate them about how to choose leadership?
Okay, we have one of our members coming out for House of Assembly in Kogi State, and that is because we've been able to work with women organizations that are heralding leadership call for women. So they try to give opportunities for young people like us, educators, on the need to actually put up intentions known to the world, at the same time support in whatever way and whichever way they can. So these organizations like the Nigerian Women Trust Fund, they've actually been able to help the young women, of which young female students are part of it, to understand that, yes, if we actually want to vie for any position, it is highly possible and we will be supported. Outside that, they've also taught us to exercise our franchise, of which that political education has been something we've been trained, and they're still training us on it. And then we try to encourage our young female students to get their voters card. because if you want a change, the change should start from you. So we cannot sit back and fold our arms and not vote when it's time for election. But because we want that change to come, because we know what we want for ourselves, we should all get our voters card. And we've been encouraging our members to get their voters card. And I think I saw a link on the Open Nigeria platform where it asks people to confirm if they've been registered. If not, they should go back and register. And I think I shared that with my members to actually verify if they've been registered. And I think that's the first step to make sure that our members all have their voters card. And when it's time for election, we are going to exercise our franchise, and we encourage our members, if you know you are capable and you know
I guess network challenge out there. I hope she's going to be back. Christina, are you back?
constituency at wherever you find yourself.
All right. We lost you temporarily. Can you rephrase what you said before? Because there was some portion of it.
I think it's a connection.
Yes.
So I'm saying that we've been able to work with other organizations. Like I mentioned the Nigerian Women Trust Fund.
Yes.
How they try to educate young women on leadership. And in times like this, they've actually called us out to know which among us is interested in vying for any political positions. And those people that are interested they have been enrolled into some educational system on politics and leadership. At the same time, they're getting all the necessary support they need. And we have a female student that is contesting for House of Assembly in Kogi State, I think OKE constituency. And this is part of the encouragement we are getting to bring out ourselves and position ourselves for leadership. So from our end, we've also been advocating for our young women to get their voters card, because that is the very first step to calling out for change. You cannot want change without having your voters card to exercise your franchise. And I know yesterday I saw on the Open Nigeria platform where a link was shared for people to verify if they've been registered. And I know I confirmed my own registration to be valid, and I shared the same link to other of my members to confirm. And we've been encouraging them to make sure they get their voters card if they truly want to stand for change. And that voters card, I know many of us are trying to get their PVC. And when it's time for election, we are going to come and exercise our franchise. We are going to vote, because that is the very first step. And for now, I know that we are doing the little we can and the best we can to make sure that young female students are not left behind.
Great.
And I thank God for other organizations, other women organizations that has been there for us, like the Nigerian Women Trust Fund. They've been really doing great towards helping young women.
Good. Now, a female student for the very first time in the history of NANS is vying to become the next NANS president. What do you believe is her chances of winning in a male-dominated environment? Because I've asked her some questions. I've had cause to talk to some people from behind the scenes, and I heard some things that they were saying. What are her chances?
Please, can I get that question? Are you talking about the NAN?
Yeah, NAN. Yeah, the
okay, because I know there was a bridge in network.
Okay, let me ask again. I said for the first time in the history of NANS, a female student is vying to become the next NANS president. What are her chances in a male-dominated environment?
Okay, it's really something that gladdens my heart, because I know she has a very high chance of winning. Not just because I know her in person, but because I've seen the level of her commitment, I've seen the level of her effort towards making sure that the voices of students are heard. And you know how NANS operates. NANS, from the history of NANS, ab initio, has never had a female leadership. And I think it's time to change the narrative. It's time to give women a chance to see what women can do differently. If we are not given a chance, no one can know what we can do differently. And I know if Sylvia Sariki is given a chance, she's going to change the narrative. She's going to give NANS a different representation that the whole world will be proud to see. So this is not just about women supporting women, but this is about giving women the opportunity to show what they can do. Because so many people, when they see a lot of posts by women for Sylvia, they feel, oh, it's just this women thing. But they don't know that we are not just talking about women thing. We are talking based on the capacity, based on the commitment, and based on what we've actually seen her do. And if someone as Sylvia has been able to impact the lives of female students, I know if given opportunity, she's going to impact and change the whole outlook of NANS, if given the opportunity.
Thanks. A follow-up question. The NAN has a notoriety for corruption. We understand that the student organization NAN has become so corrupt that to win an election, you need as much as 100 million naira. Where do this money come from? That people before now, and perhaps until now, until we have, hopefully we are able to elect Sylvia, they've spent all these big bucks, to win a presidency. Corrupted system. Where do they?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. The question of where does all this money come from is a question I cannot answer because I am not and I've never been a NANS candidate. And as a female student and as a vice president of the student union government during my time, I know there are some times when we've gotten letters to participate in NANS convention, of which I personally, I have never participated based on what I've seen going wrong. You see from the videos circulating during NANS convention of how a lot of persons are shooting, of how a lot of persons are running for their lives. And looking at all those things, it doesn't really tell good or say good things about the Nigerian, the Association for Nigerian Students. So where the money is coming from is something I cannot answer because most of NANS candidates are people that maybe have their own businesses. Most of them are no longer university students. Most of them are working. Most of them have their masters. And I know maybe they have their source of incomes. And I can't rule out the fact that sometimes they are being backed up by some political leaders or for political interests, of which NANS is supposed to be a non-partisan association. It's a student organization, so it's supposed to be out. It's not supposed to be involved in politics. Yes, as a student organization, you're not supposed to be enemies of the government. But that does not mean that as a student organization, you should allow yourself be used by government to, carry out their own interests and not the goals of the organization, which is meant to strengthen the organization, at the same time give voice to the Nigerian students. So I think, which is where the call for a female president comes in, because the female students have seen what the leadership of Sylvia Sariki has done during her time, and we know that if these values, which she has been able to put in the female students organization, is being incorporated in the Nigerian Student Association, is really going to go far in changing the narratives. You come to female student organization, ANFS cannot even go out to start giving awards to people because of monetary gains. That is not done in ANFS. But then you see people do that in NANS because of what they want in return. And these are things that I think cause for change. These are things I know cause for attention. The NANS need a reorientation. NANS as a body needs, they need to sit up, they need to go back to the drawing board and ask themselves, is this truly what we are out for? If this is not what we are out for, that means there is so much work to be done. And that is where there is a need for a leader to understand the value of true leadership, the value of true representation, and the value of the fact that the Nigerian students need a voice that will speak for them at all times. a voice that will always go back to the management of schools to make sure that the welfare of students is a priority, and not just that the students in different institutions need to understand that they are represented at the helms of affairs, they are represented at the national body, of which no students can be humiliated, no students can be treated badly, and no students can be, treated in such a way that is against human rights, because we have a body that is ready to represent them, a body that is ready to take up that decision to make sure that the interests of the students are protected, regardless of whatever happens or regardless of the government in power.
Okay. You made mention of one thing, I hope I heard you clearly, about some of non-leaders having their businesses, some are not students. Constitutionally, is a non-student qualified to run in a non-election that involves students?
So when they say Nigerian students, it cuts across both those that are having their masters, both those. It's not just, I thought it's not limited to university first degree.
Okay.
So it's not really limited to the university first degree.
Do people who have left school, they have gotten, even if they have masters, they are no longer in school, but they come and influence outcome of elections in NAMS? Some of them are students, they are no longer students, but every time they come and contest to run NAMS, even when they are not students. I've heard something like that. Somebody told me that. Is that right?
It's not right. So that is where there is need for leadership that can work on the constitution to make sure that the constitution is able to bring in what is obtainable.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's been such a wonderful time, spending all this perhaps more than an hour with you, talking about various issues concerning women, issues concerning national security, issues about election, and gender discrimination, gender violence, and all that we have talked about. Now, you are a youth, and truly, you stated that before. It cannot be overemphasized about the troubles that are bedeviling the youth population in Nigeria. That from a statistical standpoint, they represent over 70% of the entire country's population. And when extrapolated into figures, the number about 123 million youths. Now, 70% of a whole country's population. And we are being led by less than 1% that manipulate the country, not for good. Our country is going down the drain by the second. Can you talk to your generation, the youths of today in Nigeria, what you think should be done for them to first of all liberate themselves and then liberate the country? Because this country is endangered, seriously.
My message to the Nigerian youth falls under the ideology that we should not always think of what the country can do for us or what the government can do for us. We should think of what we can give back to our country, which is where I derive my own principle and policy from. When one dies, you don't go with your level of education to the grave. Neither will you go with the money you make. Neither will you go with the houses. But the only thing that you'll be remembered for is your legacy. So I think the Nigerian youth should work towards becoming youth that are people of social impact. While you're a youth and you're opportunity to go to school, utilize the opportunity to acquire good education. Don't go to school and turn a nuisance. Don't go to school and become a person that will create trouble for others. And as a Nigerian youth, the problem of the issue of get rich quick syndrome is becoming so much that it has eaten deep into a society that even a young person of 14 years, 13 years, no longer see the value in education, but wants to actually do something to get money quickly. This is not what better future for themselves. Understand the value placed in education, understand the value placed in hard work, understand the value placed in patience. And when we all understand these things, we are able to allow ourselves to grow accordingly and allow ourselves not to be used as agents of destruction in society, but then agents of peace. When you look at United Nations Resolution 1325 and United Nations Resolution 2250, 2250 talks about the inclusion of youth in peace building. And the 1325 talks about the inclusion of women. And when we talk about women, it ranges from young women, young girls, then cutting across to adult females. And when we understand that all of these things cause the inclusion of youth in leadership, the inclusion of youth in peace building, and all of these things does not rule out the fact that we need to be educated, we need to be empowered. And when you allow yourself to understand the value of education, you understand that through education brings about you learning the impact of becoming peace builders in societies. And when you understand that as a youth, you're a peace builder, you're a leader, you will not allow yourself to be used for rigorous activities. You will not allow yourself to be used by people that do not mean well for you. And when you understand these things, you're prioritizing your time, you're becoming an intentional youth, and you're not just becoming a peace builder, you're becoming a nation changer. And this is my message for them: to remain resilient, to remain committed, and to remain focused about what they want in life. And when you're focused, there is nothing you cannot achieve. There is this quote I used to say whenever I am down, that there is nothing that can stop a man who is intelligently bent on achieving success. There is nothing within the realms of impossibility that can stop you. So once you're intentional about your life, once you understand the value placed in education and empowerment, you will allow yourself get empowered in the right way, and you will not allow yourself to be used for anything that will cause social vices in the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I was going to let you go after this, but you raised one very, very important issue that I think you should address from the standpoint of a young Nigerian. Empowerment in Nigeria. That word has been bastardized. That it gives me nausea whenever I hear it. What is your understanding of true empowerment outside the rhetoric, the political rhetoric of empowerment? Because every time I will hear this person wants to come and empower our people today. Do you think that is the type of empowerment that
yes, sometimes people think of empowerment as just being able to receive financial favors, which is the mindset so many people, when they say come and empower me, they think it's for you to come and give them money. Empowerment is the ability to allow someone have a profitable skill, a skill that person is able to generate or make money from, a skill that person can actually be able to pass to other persons. If I am empowered with a skill, I have the ability to teach that same skill to another person. And when I teach that same skill to another person, that person can actually pass that same skill to another person, and that ripple effect keeps on going. Before you know it, we have a generation of people that have things that can actually fend things they can actually have to fend a living for themselves. We have solution creators, not problem makers. Do you understand? If someone can give you money and when you go out, oh, you see alcohol, you see clothes, you see things and you buy with the money. But when someone gives you skill, the ability to learn that skill gives you things to help you utilize such skills and make a living out of such skills. The person have empowered you. So it's not all about giving a person a white collar job, but then entrepreneurship comes in here, education comes in here, and this is what empowerment is all about. Being able to acquire education and skill to earn a living.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope you don't mind, you don't oblige next time when we invite you to speak some more, because I see a lot. You have a lot to give, and I can make you one promise that Open Nigeria will work with you to help you achieve your vision for the female students during your tenure and perhaps beyond that. God bless you, and it was a pleasure having you here.
To come up here again and discuss on any relevant issue that concerns Nigerian females and women and society at large.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a great evening, and we look forward to talking to you soon, okay? All right, fellow Nigerians, there has been an incredible encounter with Ms. Christiana Ezugu, the national president of Association of Nigerian Female Students. She gave a good account of herself, and I'm hearing and seeing a lot of reactions from WhatsApp, and I wish they were able to ask all those questions during this encounter. And so much happening in Nigeria right now that is bleeding us really so badly, so badly. Hey, Christina,
Yeah,
are you still with me? Yeah, something
yes.
just came to me. I'm sorry that I'm bringing you back. After this, I will let you go. Now, something happened in Sokoto a couple of days ago. A young female student was murdered in cold blood, and not just to kill her was bad enough. They set her on fire and roasted her. And then on top of that, some people are protesting that some people were detained. Those perhaps who were responsible for this heinous act, they are protesting that those people be released because the young lady committed quote unquote blasphemy. Blasphemy. What is it? What is your opinion about this? What is taking place in Nigeria?
It's really so disheartening that in 21st century and a time like this, where we think the world is exposed enough, something barbaric and evil and cruel is still happening in our Nigerian society. I think this is a gruesome murder, and nobody will tell me they just murdered that young lady, Deborah Samuel, in disguise of blasphemy, because regardless of religion, God or Allah never asks anyone to kill anybody on his behalf. God is a spirit, nobody sees him. Even before we were born, God existed. So how would somebody born in 21st century come out to start fighting a battle for God? So I think, one, our religious leaders have failed because the teachings they've actually been educating these people with are things that has fueled their mentality such that they are unable to unlearn, to relearn that this is 21st century and humanity comes first. So telling me because a student held her opinion that a group chat is meant for academic purposes and as such, no religious thing should be posted. Yes, before a group chat is created in an academic institution, there are rules and regulations that stipulate that this group chat is created for academic reasons. So why will she be punished because she is citing and telling people that this is not the reason for the creation of this group? And then, under the disguise of blasphemy, they killed her, they murdered her, they threw stones at her, did all sorts of evil things on this young girl and just burnt her and she died. And today, the same people who are called students of Shehu Shagari College of Education, an academic institution that is aimed at impacting knowledge, then to what end? What then is the knowledge that are being inculcated? What the essence of the education? What is the essence? That is to say, the education that is being given to them is baseless. Because one who is educated is able to understand that humanity comes first. And then religious tolerance. I am a Christian, you're a Muslim should not be the basis of contention in an academic institution because they are there to learn. So everybody should be allowed to move with their own ideology and religion, but then not to the detriment of human life, not to the point of taking human life. So I think the government need to sit up because it has shown that the security system has actually failed. Because if there is adequate security system, the police that said the girl was brought to their custody and then the community, the students didn't allow her to stay there, they dragged her out and they carried her and they stoned her. All of those stories are stories that the world don't want to hear. That means they don't have control. The security don't have control over the crowd. Or I could remember when EndSARS happened, at a point they were throwing tear gas to scare people away. What happened to the measures that would have taken to actually chase away people from hurting that young lady? But then nothing was done. They carried her and they folded their arms and watched them kill her and come to the public to tell us that they carried her, and then they could not control the crowd, and that was how the lady died. So I think there is a lot of unlearning and relearning for these people to do. The religious leaders should go back to their drawing board and teach their people the right thing they need to know about their ideas and ideology and correct it. And I think the law enforcement agencies, Sokoto State Police Command, Sokoto State Government, they should actually bring these perpetrators to book. They should put them behind bars and punish them accordingly. Because if this is not tackled today, so many other evils will be happening and people will get away with it. Today it is Deborah. Who knows who will be next tomorrow? It may be me. It may be one other innocent young woman out there. So I think this is a serious issue that should not be overlooked today.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your opinion on this. And we're monitoring the situation, and we're going to issue a very strong statement. This thing has been going on for a very long time. Somebody, some people, some masterminds.
To think that they are coming out to protest, that they want their brothers to be released, is something that is very, very foolish. And I saw a lot of their placards, not even a correct English. That is to say, the level of education there is still at the minimal. So there is so much work to be done. There is just so much work to be done, because this does not tell good of a country as Nigeria. We have a few schools that are managing to go to school, and now the school they've shut down. We are still praying that the federal government comes to an agreement and reaches a consensus with ASU, so that students can go back to school. And now a college of education has been shut down because of a murder of an innocent girl. So what is the value of our educational system? What message are we passing across to the outside world? Seriously, it's something that should be looked into, because it's not a good reputation for Nigeria at large.
Thank you. We appreciate you for your time on this, and we look forward to seeing you in no distant time. Thank you very much. Fellow Nigerians, our country is going through one of its worst moments in history. The state of Nigeria requires all of us, regardless of where we are on earth, to come out of our comfort zones, to battle for our soul. Our country is under siege on all fronts. Our country has been taken over by janjaweeds that pretend to be leaders. The question is, how much can we take? How much more can we take? Here is a country where a citizen went into the hallowed chamber of the Senate and carted away the mace, the symbol of authority of the National Assembly, and was not punished. What type of example is that? Here is a country where the government allegedly spent 600 billion feeding students at home, students who were on lockdown, and nobody is raising a finger. How on earth do we have a country that cannot cater to its use? the studio right now is our sister Victoria Jadu, coming in from Kaduna, Nigeria. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Great, great, great to see you. Thank you very much for the marvelous job you are doing on behalf of Open Nigeria across Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Glory be to God.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yes, we just concluded an interview with the young lady, Miss Christiana Ezugu, the new president of the Association of Nigerian Female Students. And I'm hyper.
I came late.
Inspired. Can you hear me?
Late.
Yes. You came late, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I said sorry. I joined very late.
That's fine. It's being recorded. You're going to see it on YouTube. It's on Facebook. You'll have the opportunity of watching it live everywhere on 5 channels. So it is available.
Okay.
So thank you very much for the great job you're doing. You, Edward, and others. You are really inspiring me like crazy. I appreciate you guys so much. So much love from here. Now,
thank you.
The Wahala in Sokoto. Beheading of killing of a young girl. Not just killing her. After killing her is bad enough. They went and set her on fire. And that is a state where there's a sitting governor who is a presidential aspirant. I think we need justice, and I believe that justice will be done. Because if justice is not done, Tambawa should bury his presidential aspiration first of all.
Amen.
And, I believe justice will be done. I'm very optimistic that for the first time, because this thing has been happening. You know, I was a victim here, Kano, 1991. This is my mark, everlasting. And I still get nightmares. Yeah, I hope we are not losing Sister Victoria. We need her on this. So I am hoping that justice will be done, and decisively too, from the president down to the governor, and the national security agencies must do justice. The judiciary must stand up for the people of Nigeria on this really very, very annoying barbarism, this savagery that is taking place in the 21st century. No, this is not. Nobody has a right to kill on behalf of God. If you are killing, you say you are killing on behalf of God, you are killing for Satan. You are a child of Satan. Children of God don't take up arms to kill people. This nonsense in Nigeria, everywhere in Nigeria, has to come to an end. Seriously and totally. Well, let's hope that we're able to get Sister Victoria back on the stream. Hey, Sister Victoria, sorry about that. So what do you have to say about this madness that is raging now? I hear people are protesting instead of stoning people who kill somebody to death. They are protesting and seeking their release. What kind of a country is Nigeria?
Hello? It's so unfortunate that we have allowed ourselves to be brought down to this level. I think the level of can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Hello?
Yes, we are hearing you.
I believe that the level of illiteracy, and when I say illiteracy, I'm not talking of people who did not go to school, but these are people who are in school, but they are still illiterate, in quotes, in the sense that, you know, the 4 corners of a classroom doesn't teach you only about the subject the 4 corners of a classroom does not teach you only what you went to school to read, but it teaches you so many other things that you need to know about relating with other people.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
So the level of illiteracy is so high. It is so high. You see people in high institutions, you see people even in offices, but my late mother, such people, they are educated, but they are not literate. You know, it's one thing to go through school, it's another thing for school to go through you.
Yes.
If you are not exposed to the extent that
network.
You can be able to.
Yeah, we're having serious network challenge here. Serious network challenge here.
Yadda muke gani jama'a ne suka yi cincirindo a bakin kofar shiga gidan sarkin musulmi inda suke gabatar da kabbarori, suke gabatar da wasu abubuwa na nuna rashin amincewa su da goyon bayan su akan maganar da majalisar mai alfarma sarkin musulmi ta fitar na cewa su waɗanda suka yi wannan aikin na zartar da hukunci ga wadda ta yi batanci ga annabi Muhammadu Rasulullahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inda suke ganin cewa yunkurin kama su waɗannan mutanen da kuma ƙoƙarin hukunta su kamar bai dace ba, wanda yake wannan yasa su matasan nan suka tunzura suka zo domin ganin cewa sun nuna ɓacin ransu da kuma nuna rashin goyon bayan su ga wannan sanarwar da majalisar mai alfarma sarkin musulmi ta gabatar. Kamar yadda muke gani matasan ta wannan hanyar sun ja layi suna kabbarori, suna so su iso a wannan harabar ta majalisa mai alfarma sarkin musulmi, amma jami'an tsaro sun ja musu layi duk da yake ana harba bindigogi harsasai a sama, sa'annan kuma ana harba barkonun tsohuwa, amma kuma duk da haka matasan ba su yi ƙasa a gwiwa ba, sai ƙara yunkuri suke yi na ganin cewa sun shigo wannan gurin, inda wasu daga cikin ma suke mai da harsashin da aka tura musu. An harba musu harsashe ne, amma kuma suka yi ƙoƙarin dawowa da ke a cikin waɗannan jami'an tsaron da suka yi barkonan. Ke gani shi ne gashi nan tafi wani gare harkokin tashi suke yi da kuma wannan barkonan tsohuwar, amma duk da haka su waɗannan matasan suka daina abin da suke yi ba. Kamar yadda muke gani jami'an tsaro suna ƙoƙarin yunkurin kora su waɗannan mutanen domin ganin cewa ba su shigo wannan gurin ba, amma duk da haka sai ƙara tahowa suke yi. To kamar yadda jama'a suke bayyanar da ra'ayoyinsu na cewa waɗannan tashe-tashen hankulan bai kamata a ce matasa suna tashe su ba daidai wannan lokacin da rikita take ƙara.
Yes, this is the sad Nigeria that we have right now. And this is the reason we have been calling for open Nigeria. Ignorance, the ignorance that drives hate, so destructive. I am speaking from the standpoint of a victim. Yeah, it's me. 1991, Kano riot. One would have thought that by now, that Nigeria would have progressed beyond this savagery, this barbarism. And sad, really sad that we are still stuck in this place. I don't want this type of Nigeria. No, I don't want to be in a Nigeria where I cannot be free to live anywhere I want to live, where I cannot express myself, and then always sitting on the pin, always getting ready to run for what? Who are you that you make decisions for God? God have saying, thou shalt not kill. It's a commandment. It's a commandment in the Bible. It's a moral commandment. It's a commandment, I believe, too, in the Quran. Thou shalt not kill. So why should men be killing? Who are you? And we are in a country that we are supposed to be in an organized country of law, with laws. So why are we not working with Nigerian law? Why are we working with the savage law that stone people to death over what they say? So what? Why do people take laws in their hands? You want to be a law on yourself. The same people. Now, you are validating Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, this is just a part of it. And these people talk about Nnamdi Kanu doing what he's doing. Look at who wants to be here? Who wants to be in this kind of country? Who wants to be slaughtered and roasted? Governor Tambuwa, the ball is in your court, big ball. You have to play it. And it's very good that you are aspiring to become the next president of Nigeria. So we want to see your vision right here now. If you pass this, you may win the hearts of so many people. So these barbarians must be brought to justice. Ball is in your court. Sokoto State Governor, Sokoto State Government, Islamic leaders in Nigeria. It is time you woke up to put an end to all this, because we cannot continue this country this way. A country that does not have respect for basic human rights. It's written in our constitution. The right to life, sacrosanct. The right to choice, sacrosanct. The right to freedom of expression. The right to freedom of association. The right to worship. And the right to self-determination. You can't deny the people of that. They are all God-given. It's not for any man. No man can take it. You take it by force. And I don't know what runs through the head of some people. So will you go to heaven by killing and burning this young lady? You can't. Hell is where you reside. And I am happy about the reactions from some people, some Nigerians in the north of Nigeria. So we give them credit for great things. They inspire hope for Nigeria. More work needs to be done. Education, religious education has to be structured now and not left in the hands of hungry, savage people who misteach people, children, innocent children who are already suffering, none shown love. You throw them out as almajiris, all right? They live under inhuman and inhumane conditions. How would they be savage? But for students who are supposed to be in a tertiary institution, not knowing this, not respecting the rights of others, sad. This is not the country I want to be from. That's
why, as a northerner living in the south, facing mental torture, receiving abuses, insults, days after days, throwing shade of names like Aboki and Malam, while in essence, Aboki means a friend or a brother, and Malam means a teacher. I've always gotten myself rolling in tears, living like a prisoner, and always questioning whether this is my country or not, whether this is my Nigeria that I was born and raised into. And why, as a southerner living in the north, equally facing stereotypes and being called names like Agbero, Inyamuri, Arne, facing daily difficulties and hatred in my own country. I was born with dignity and deserve to be treated like a human, especially in my own country. I call on my southern brothers and sisters to do away with the stereotypes and accept me as one of their own. Equally, I call on my northern brothers and sisters to draw away all the negative impressions they have on the South and treat me like their own kin. Let us come together and ensure the labor of our heroes past are not in vain. Let us come together and serve our country with heart and might. One nation born in freedom, peace and unity. United we stand, divided we fall. This is Nigeria.
That I think we should belong to, not the old English Nigeria. We are Africans. We are not Europeans. We are not Arabs. And so we must be Africans. The people we represent on our soil don't give a fuck about us when we go to their land. They call us animals. They call us zoo people. You come here and carry these wild ideologies that have done us no good. Why can't we be the original Africans that we are? Why do we have to be someone else? Who gave us the authority to enforce the laws of God? God is all-conquering. God is mighty and powerful. No man fights for God except it's not a true God. Not the God that I know. Not the God that works for me. Not the God that defends me when I am in trouble. No, I don't want to worship any God. Fellow Nigerians, our country is going through one of its worst moments in history. The state of Nigeria requires all of us, regardless of where we are on earth, to come out of our comfort zones, to battle for our soul. Our country is under siege on all fronts. Our country has been taken over by Janjaweeds that pretend to be leaders. The question is, how much can we take? How much more can we take? Here is a country where a citizen went into the hallowed chamber of the Senate and carted away the mace, the symbol of authority of the National Assembly, and was not punished. What type of example is that? Here is a country where the government allegedly spent 600 billion feeding students at home, students who were on lockdown, and nobody is raising a finger. How on earth do we have a country that cannot cater to its use?
All right. Good evening, my youth. I'm back here with a very I am very sad because I just went online and saw something very disheartening, where a female student of a college of education in Sokoto was killed because of religious blasphemy. Like, we are in a society where people get away with everything. In Islam, There is a process that is supposed to be taken before somebody is going to be stoned to death or whatever to death. You just can't kill somebody like that. Like, where did our conscience go to? What is happening to the society? Where did humanity go to? I am a Muslim and I don't support that because it's really, really, really disheartening. Like, what is happening to Nigeria, for crying out loud? When is all these things going to stop, for crying out loud? Love is the first religion. Where did it go to? Where did it go to?
This is serious. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I can't even imagine that this thing is happening in 2022. In 2022, students of higher institutions in Nigeria, religion is on madness. Like, are you okay? Who are you to fight for God?
Who are you?
Who are you? Do your own and move on. But the fact that in this particular time and era you could think that people will go to that extreme because of religion. I am a Muslim.
Of course.
This is not the teachings of the Prophet.
No.
This is not Islam. And whoever perpetrated that act, who thinks he's going to get some form of reward from God, he is totally wrong.
Very wrong.
Because I am here to tell you that you've ruined your life in this world, and you have no hideout in the hereafter.
No.
Because you've taken a life and you can do absolutely nothing to rectify that.
That is it.
You can't do nothing. So you've lost in both worlds. You are stupid. You don't even know what you are doing. You are not even supposed to be existing in the society. You are supposed to be wiped out from the face of the earth.
Yes.
I think capital punishment should be assigned to this.
Of course it should be.
Capital punishment should be assigned to this.
The perpetrator should be called to book immediately.
It's not something that
no,
it's even negotiable.
It's not.
Yes, it's not negotiable. We can't take that. Because people have been getting away with things in this country. The repercussion is, there are no repercussions to things. And so many people think they can just do things and get away with it because this is Nigeria.
This time around,
this is our town.
No.
This is you are mad.
Very mad.
Yes, you are mad.
Fellow Nigerians, here we come. I am happy that Nigerians are becoming more conscious, but we need a lot of work. A lot of work is needed to end this stupidity in Nigeria. Stupidity everywhere. Politicians, what they have done to Nigeria, the elites, what they have done to Nigeria. Now, let me speak to the elites from the north of Nigeria. You are problems. You are a huge problem to Nigeria. You deny your people, your own people, you rape them. The only thing you give them is violence. You use them to blackmail Nigeria. Game is about over for you. The earlier you change your ways, the better. Because this fire, you said, is going to consume all of you. We are supposed to be one Nigeria, not north and south. You created this schism. It is enough. Young, enlightened people, Nigerians in the north, wake up, rise up, unite with your brothers from other parts of Nigeria. We shouldn't be talking about north and south. We should be talking about Nigeria. And that is what Open Nigeria is preaching. There's no need for north and south, except for geography. Or dream fell in the north, the thunderstorm happened there. That is okay. But when you divide the people, that's the politicians. They did it before 1960. And then as soon as Nigeria became independent, what do people do? They deny the people re-education. They fail to bring them into the mainstream of Nigeria. They strip them of their re-citizenship of Nigeria, telling them you are a Northerner. What is Northerner? There's nothing like Northerner. There's not supposed to be anything like Northerner. You are a Nigerian. There's nothing that like Southerner. What is Southerner? You are supposed to be a Nigeria. In the United States, what do? United States of America. If you want to be too emphatic, you talk about the state where you come from. You don't talk about no damn region. And I make another take it deeper. When Bill Clinton and Al Gore ran for president and vice president respectively, Arkansas and Tennessee share a common boundary. The whole of America did not catch fire because the president and vice president respectively came from two neighboring states. But what are we talking about today in Nigeria? Rotational presidency. I'm so disgusted. Those who went to school, those who have these chains of stupid degrees in Nigeria, they can't think. They are not even reasoning anymore. They are letting octogenarians to think for them. You are in the 21st century. Haven't you heard about something they call quality? Why is it that quality is better? Quality promotes better access to opportunity than the mediocrity that the rotational presidency or rotational anything brings about. Because these men are lacking in ability. They lack in competency. They lack in content of character. What is it that you don't know? They lack in ability to build, to utilize, to expand, to extend, and sustain capacity beyond themselves. Don't you see what is happening? Nigerian people, especially the youth, the wealth of Nigeria is in the hands of less than 1% of the people. Those who stoke religious crisis, they go behind the scene and unite themselves. They are Christians, they are Muslims, they come together, but they leave you poor and arm you with dangerous weapons to kill yourself, burn an innocent child, and then you are promised of where you're going to live in a deeper hell. But I have this message for Governor Tambowa. I have the message for President Muhammadu Buhari. I have the message for the IG, the director of DSS. Justice must be done in this case. This one. Justice must be done. And the most interesting part of it is that Tambowa is a presidential aspirant. He needs to make a strong statement leading us. A crime has been established. Somebody killed. You have no right to kill anybody, any citizen of Nigeria. It's not a chicken. It's not a goat in your backyard or in your barn that you should just pick up and kill. So those who killed that little young girl, that future that has been cut short, they should face the same music for perpetrating that violence. If they have masterminds, the masterminds should be taken care of too. You see, people have been going scot-free with this type of very terrible crimes for a very long time in Nigeria. I think this should be a watershed. This should be a new precedent set, so that people will now adjust their attitudes before they lift those daggers to strike. They did it to me. 1991, I was lucky, but my friend was not lucky enough. He was slaughtered. Ignorance. What are they teaching the people of Nigeria? We can't take this type of Nigeria anymore. And that is what the Open Nigeria is preaching. That is why everybody, people should be ashamed to be quiet over this. Nigerians should come out as Nigeria. Nigeria has laws that deals with murder. So the laws should be applied. And they committed a heinous crime. So all of them should be roped in, and they'll pay a price for it. It's as simple as that. That's justice. Hey, from me to you, next Saturday, same time, same station, same anchor. Special thanks to our brothers and sisters scattered around the world as we approach an epic election. You know, their plan is not to make the election work, but it is not. Let's not put it in their hands. Let us be those who will make it work against the machination of less than 1%. You see the ridiculous number of presidential aspirants, and you see, to prove that they are jobless, you see when Kata come bust now, everybody, they withdraw a race because they don't have anywhere to go out of being where they are. You are a minister. You want to contest to be president. You want to continue to earn your salary until they award you that presidential ticket. You are crazy. So now, all of them, including the Attorney General, all of them who stepped out to pick up presidential, governorship or presidential aspirations, senatorial, all of them should be flushed. No one should be left behind. Since Buhari sent them off yesterday, I hope they are not going to leave anyone behind. Those who are applying for their jobs should all be flushed. Total. So let's start a new way of doing things in Nigeria. We can't continue this Nigeria this way. But for this one, I see justice being served, and it will be served. Really, seriously, it will be served. For once, let us start something new in this country. Fellow Nigerians, our country is going through one of its worst moments in history. The state of Nigeria requires all of us, regardless of where we are on earth, to come out of our comfort zones, to battle for our soul. Our country is under siege on all fronts. Our country has been taken over by janjaweeds that pretend to be leaders. The question is, how much can we take? How much more can we take? Here is a country where a citizen went into the hallowed chamber of the Senate and carted away the mace, the symbol of authority of the National Assembly, and was not punished. What type of example is that? Here is a country where the government allegedly spent 600 billion feeding students at home, students who were on lockdown, and nobody is raising a finger. How on earth do we have a country that cannot cater to its use?